Bruce Wilkins here at your Belfair Learning Center and a part of your golf health and fitness team. Excited to announce our new series, which we are calling The Replacements, where we're going to be discussing three major joints in our body that often get injured and for some of us actually need to be replaced. We're talking about the knee joint, the hip joint, and the shoulder joint. All right, so first we're going to be talking about our knees. Both our trail knee, which would be our right knee for the right-handed player, and our lead knee, or our left knee for the right-handed player. So throughout our golf swing, we're asking our knees to provide some flexion, and we're actually asking them to support some torque. All right, so what we're going to be doing is learning more about our knees from our health team, learning some strengthening and conditioning from our fitness team, and then I'm going to be sharing with you some workarounds, some ways we might be able to modify our stance, all right, and maybe some of the movements we make to take any pressure and or strain off either our right knee or our left knee.
Hello, my name is Jess and I'm your physical therapist here at Belfair. Today we're talking about the knee joint and more specifically knee replacements and how it affects your golf game. So to start, we're going to start with the anatomy of the knee. So the bony structure, you have your femur, which is your thigh bone. It meets the tibia, which is your shin bone. And then you have your patella, which is the kneecap on the front. The knee is a hinge joint, which means it bends and it straightens. And there is a slight rotational part to that as well. The muscles attached here, you have your quadriceps on the front of your thigh. That helps to straighten the knee. You have your hamstrings on the back. That helps to bend the knee. And then there's other accessory motions or muscles that help with the rotational component and the bending and straightening. So when you need a knee replacement, typically it's because the knee joint has worn down from either osteoarthritis, a previous ACL tear, meniscus tear, or some other issue that you're experiencing. So what happens is the cartilage between the two bones wears down. You get that bone-on-bone phenomenon. And with this, you can start to form osteophytes, which are jagged pieces. You get a lot of inflammation, a lot of swelling, and that causes pain. At this point, that's typically when people reach out to their local surgeon and consider a knee replacement. Knee replacements do not prevent you from golfing or doing your usual activities ever again. The rehab process is very important, and that can kind of help filter you into returning to golf. So for the rehab process, the first goal is to get your mobility back. You need to achieve 0 to 120 degrees of motion, so that's straightening your leg completely and then bending enough that you're able to ride a bike, go downstairs, do a squat, those type of activities. From there, you need to work on strength and stability, and that'll help you with everyday activities, walking on uneven surfaces, all things you need to do for golf. Typically, people do not return to golf until, I would say, minimum 3 months, typical is 6 months, and sometimes it takes up to a year. You always, always, always need to get permission from your surgeon before you try to golf again. Typically, you'll start with putting and chipping, and then you'll move into your longer shots. It's always a good idea to do a big warm-up at the beginning to reduce any stiffness that might be in that new knee replacement, and then always work on leg strengthening exercises, including hip rotation strengthening, because especially if the knee replacement is on that lead leg, it takes the most rotation on that side, and that's where your hips are going to really need to get involved to provide stability.
All right, Belfair, what is going on? Today we are going to be going over our fitness portion of the replacement series as it relates to someone who is just recently operated on the knee joint if they have a knee replacement. So as it relates to golf, you're going to want to select exercises that isolate the legs and that are weight bearing. So the best one for that is always going to be a step up. When you do your step ups, you're always going to want to select the lowest height that is pain-free first. Once you've built confidence up with that, you're going to want to then increase the height and maybe add weights once you know that you're getting stronger. So for a step up, you can do them a few ways where you can step up with each time and step back down, or you can leave the foot on the box and step up, really focusing on driving this knee backwards in extension. That's going to strengthen the quads up, and then really on the lowering portion, just lower yourself slowly and under control. We don't want to land hard, we want to land soft. So that is our step-up series, and I'm going to have my coworker, trainer Emily, come on in, and she's going to be doing some hamstring flexibility that you can do with your golf cart.
Hi guys, Emily here at the fitness center. Today we're talking about those knees, so I'm working on your stretches. So the first one we're going to do, you can put your leg on your golf cart or something else that's sturdy, but just get that foot up, and all you're going to do is hinge at your hips and lean forward. So you want to feel that in the upper part of the back of your leg, right above the knee, all the way to your glute. So just leaning forward like this, 30 seconds to 2 minutes, whatever's feeling good, stretch, no pain. The second one, you want to make sure you're holding on to something, and you're going to take a big split stance with those legs, bend the front knee, back foot stays flat to the ground. All you're going to do is lean forward, keep that heel down. You want to feel this below your knee, between the bottom of the knee and the ankle, right there in your calf muscle. Same thing, 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Whatever feels good, stretch, no pain. And you want to make sure you do the other side as well. That's all we've got for you today, focusing on those knees. Next time, we've got a different joint for you. See ya!
Okay, now we know a little bit more about the knee joint and how we can actually help strengthen and condition. So let's talk about some workarounds, all right? Ways to take some stress and strain off of our knees. Let's start with the right knee, or our trail knee in our golf swing for those right-handed players. Let's start with flexion, right? If flexion is causing the pain. So what I'd be asking you to do is lock those knees, a little bit more hip hinge, and then just unlock them or uncrack those knees slightly. Let's reduce the amount of knee flex we actually have at address. In our backswing, now what we want to avoid would be too much flexion in our backswing. All right, so as you work up to the top, I'm going to be asking you to feel like you allow this leg to straighten. All right, again, taking away the stress and strain of that excessive flex. Now when it comes to torque, if I place my feet on the ground and I have my right foot here perpendicular and I start rotating into my backswing, there is more torque placed on that knee itself. So I'd be asking you to flare out that right foot so that that torque is reduced. And now I can actually make a bigger, deeper backswing without causing any strain or stress. Now let's talk about the torque in the downswing, if that's what's actually causing some pain and discomfort. Well, as you work into the backswing, if I keep that foot planted on the ground, again, that's providing a lot of torque there in that knee. So I want you to actually release that right foot. Let that right heel, the right foot, come off the ground as you're working into your finish. Okay, now let's work on the left knee, some workarounds with that left knee. Once again, starting with reducing flexion. So I'd be asking you to set up in this nice strong impact position. So maybe I've got more weight, more pressure over here on my lead leg. And the leg itself is in a straighter position as opposed to too flexed. When we work into impact, what we're trying to do is get a nice inline condition with the foot, the knee, and the hip joint. To provide that, I need to get my hip turned. All right, so if I can simply work on getting my hips at this 45 degree into impact. Once again, that puts this leg in a nice inline condition and reduces strain based on flexion. And finally, let's talk about the torque in that lead leg. Very similar to our right leg, we can actually flare out that front foot. All right, so when I flare out that front foot and I come into impact, that allows the torque to be reduced. Now, if the torque actually happens in your backswing, and that's where the pain comes, then I'd be asking you to literally allow that heel, that foot, to come off the ground. Once again, if I keep that foot on the ground and try to turn, that's actually what's causing a little bit more strain there in that lead knee. All right, so once again, our team is here for you. We're all about your golf lifestyle and health and longevity in this great sport.